Winter is coming and I am changing my Pricelabs general pricing for my duplicate long-term listings for my Airbnb properties. I'm lowering the price so that I pretty much break even throughout winter. And yeah, I do not want to be losing money this winter, and I'm going to be lowering the prices to hopefully get long-term bookings, maybe like a 6-month booking over winter, October, November, December, January, February, March. That would be ideal, or just a few 1-month bookings over those times. But yeah, just I want to get it 100% occupied so that I've got full peace of mind. Obviously, depending on what area you're in, maybe you can still make good profit in the summer months. My properties are all on the coast, so I am just changing my pricing and just lowering it so that we can get more long-term bookings and not have to worry about the properties in the winter. So I'm going to start over here with this 1-bedroom flat of mine in Brighton. Okay, so this is the property, 35% off monthly discount. This is on Pricelabs, of course. I've got the property here. As you can see, I've applied a 35% discount to this listing. So first thing you got to do is work out, I'll do it in front of you here. First thing you got to do is work out your outgoings. Okay, so my rent for this property is 1,300. I'm paying £152 for council tax. Utilities and water is around about £150. And then I've got some other fees. What else is there? Yeah, like insurance, insurance, flipping out, insurance, Pricelabs fees, which is the pricing software, and then I've got my Lodgify, which is my OTA. Oh my gosh, just my channel manager fees. Sorry, I've had a long day. My brain is mush. So generally, overall, this property is £1,800. I'm just adding another 200 to be safe. Bit of maintenance and stuff as well. So I'm going to say £1,800. Okay. So I'm trying to get my pricing, including my VAT that I pay, to leave me with this after I change the pricing. So 1,800 I'm trying to get to. Okay. So let's have a look here. Let's do this. Also, I do apologize for having so many tabs open. Some people would just not be able to manage that, but these are all properties. I'm crunching some BRRs and flip deals for my investors. I'm going through all of these tomorrow. These are all on Rightmove. So anyway, let's get back to business here. Nice, I can't even look at the Pricelabs. So Pricelabs, here we go. I'm clicking here. So this is my summer pricing. I had this at £230 per night. Okay, but now we're trying to get 1,800. So I'm gonna go. I've pretty much worked this out in my head already from previous years. I'm going to be using £150 per night. Okay, so you go £150 per night. Of course, you might have to do this a few times until you know what is the correct price per night. So £150 times 30 nights on average, okay, is £4,500. Then, of course, I take off the discount on Airbnb, which is 35%. So I go like this, times 65%, which of course is the amount after the 35% discount, equals 2,995. Okay, so 2,925. Okay, so then I will take so I'm VAT registered, which means, so I'm on the flat rate scheme, which means I only pay 10.5% VAT for the total revenue that I receive. If you did not pay VAT, you wouldn't have to do this part. So you would literally just do it like this. You would do your your nightly rate as we've just done it. Then you would take off any discounts that you have for like a month-long stay, for any long-term stays. And then you would take off your OTA fees from this. So I always use like 82%. So I work it out to be like 18% OTA fees just to be safe. Booking.com charges a bit more than Airbnb most of the time, but people say 15. I just use 18 to be completely safe for these examples. So I'm going to times it by 82%, which is obviously this amount minus the 18% OTA fees, okay? Equals 2398. So if you were trying to get your property, if this was your property, to £1,800 profit, not profit, £1,800 per month, so that you are not making any profit, you're breaking even, this is going to be too high. So you would want to get it down lower. So maybe you would do it at £130 and you just redo this whole thing. But what I'm trying to say is you don't need to factor in VAT like I do. So I hope that makes sense for you. I'll work it out in both ways, okay? I will do it as if I'm taking off the VAT, because I am, and then I'll work it out for you if you have a similar property with similar outgoings, and just to show you how you would do it without the VAT, okay? So firstly, I think 150 is too much. I think my calculations previously were a bit wrong, my estimations. So I'm going to use 130. I'm going to use 130, so I'm going to just rush to do this now. I won't rush it too much. So 130 per night times 30 nights equals 39. Times, you want to get your OTA fees off here. Your discount. Your discount first. As you can see here, 35% off discount. So times 65% equals 25. So I'm going to write this down quickly. 2535. Okay. Now because I'm VAT registered and I get taxed on my total revenue before OTA fees, that means that I need to work out 10.5% of this, which is pretty much £250. So let's just work it out properly. So 10.5% VAT. Yeah, 266, okay? So 266 is my VAT. So now I'll go back here and I'm going to take off my OTA fees. So I'm going to say 82%, which is 18% OTA fees, roughly. If you guys don't know what OTA fees are, I do apologize. That is online travel agency fees, and they vary between platform to platform, and it's pretty much just the service fee for Airbnb listing your property and Airbnb listing your property, because they spend thousands of pounds or millions of pounds on advertising, on customer support, on their systems, on their security. So that is their fee, of course, that they charge on every booking through their platform. So I'm going to just take off the OTA fees, which equals 2078. Now I'm taking off my 266, which is VAT, equals Bob's your uncle. There we go. So 130 is our lucky number. Okay, 130 is literally our lucky number here. So that is pretty much £1,800. So that means that I will be breaking even over winter. You can always test it out and set it to £200, £300, £500. You can literally do it as you wish. Like in summer, I think I was making about £1,500 or £2,000 per month. Let's just check this out. I had a few 1 month stays on at this pricing, okay, which is 233 on this duplicate listing. So let's just work it out. 230 times 30 times 65% times 10.5. Of course, I'm paying VAT, which is quite annoying. If you can avoid it legally, of course, then try to do so as best as you can. setting up different companies and this and that for your rent to SAs, or legally, of course. So then I'll take off the OTA fees, which is 82% equals, and then I minus the 470, I think it was, for the OTAs equals. So yeah, so I was getting, how much profit was I getting? Yeah, about £1,500, £1,400. That's what I thought it was. But now I'm going to be changing this to I'm going to be making this a low rate. So I know exactly how much I will be getting. So 130, 130, 130. The reason you want to put a max in is because you don't want it to go higher for some reason. Maybe there's some events, there's some functions, so weekend prices are always in high demand. That's why they're blue here on the Pricelabs calendar. You just set everything the same. I go save and refresh, ignore recommendations, because they don't know that I've applied a 35% discount. As you can see, it said there. Yeah, it was probably too fast for you to see, but I saw there. They were saying, the prices should be lower, but don't worry, I've got that discount on. And as soon as that's done, you have to click sync now at the top right hand corner. Otherwise, it's not going to sync for like 24 hours. So I want this instant. But hold up. As you can see, I'm in September. Should I be doing this in September as well? Maybe I could just do it from October. And if I were to do that, I'll just go here and I'll date override all of these properties, these dates. I'd be going and just going from the 1st of October to the end of March and just going 130. So if you were to do that, if you don't want to do it right now, you'd go there, October, end of March, 130 fixed price, minimum stay. I'll do like 30 nights because I'm trying to get long-term stays, and then you can add it down there. But I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just going to do it from right now. So you got to click sync now. That'll sync perfectly. And that's pretty much it. Obviously, for my other properties, I'm paying higher rents. I'm going to be paying, I'm paying like 1,550 for my 2-bed in Worthing. So I think that comes up to about £2,000 in outgoings, more or less, maybe 1,900 something. So I'll be using the same system to do that. So if your property average outgoings are and running costs are £2,500 or £3,000, just use the same system, use the same way to manipulate your pricing through Pricelabs, of course. Or you can do it directly on Airbnb technically. If you can just set a base price for everything, you can do it on Airbnb. But yeah, that is how it's done. And then of course, don't forget to click sync now. But I forgot to show you. So if your property if you were trying to get £1,800 per month, but your property did not have VAT, I'll show you how to do that now. So you would have to go, I would probably say, let's try 120 for now. I think 120 will work. So let's just say 120 times 30. I'm going to rush through this a bit. So then you take off your discount, which is 35%. So you're left with 65%, as you can see. Then you'll take off your OTA fees, okay, which are 18%. So that's 82% equals 1918. So that's not far off. Maybe you got to do, it is hard to get it exact. It is very hard, as you can see with all the systems. If you know a better way of doing this, then please do let me know. I'm sure ChatGPT could help. You could just punch it into ChatGPT. You want to try that? Let's try that. Wow. Should I even attempt this right now? Okay, ignore this. Okay. So, hey ChatGPT, I'm trying to change my average nightly price on Airbnb for my property. I'm trying to make £1,800 profit. I mean, not profit, turnover, after tax and OTA fees and a 35% discount that I've got on Airbnb. So I'm trying to get the monthly income in my bank to be £1,800. I've got a 35% discount on my Airbnb account for 1 month stays, and so we need to factor that in. We need to take 35% off the total price that the guest is going to pay, and then we need to work out 10.5% tax that I pay on that revenue, but then we need to use that original amount before paying tax and take off 18% commission for the online travel agencies, and then we've got to deduct the 10.5% of the previous amounts that we worked from, and that should give us £1,800 for the total month as income. Please help me work out the average nightly rate over a 30-night period to make this happen. That's the first time I'm trying that. Let's see if it works. It just came to my head. I'm sure I'm just going with that. Fingers crossed. It's got to be around about £130. I'll be happy with 125 to 130. Let's see how easy that was. Maybe I can just copy and paste this prompt for you guys if you need. Just let me know. But that would make life a lot easier. Let's see if it understands my South African accent. Wow, so 126. That's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. So gross, so 3 boom after discount. You see, so so the thing is, they minus the VAT before. They minus the VAT, after the OTA fees, but it shouldn't be like that because I get taxed on this amount before OTA fees are taken off. So yeah, pretty much bang on. It's just got this wrong. So you've always got this method. Obviously, if you're not paying VAT or you're not VAT registered, then this is probably the easiest way to do it. You can use the same prompt, but yeah, just ignore the OTA. The VAT fees, and then you have it. So you could always do it that way, but if AI takes over the world, tries to kill us all, and we pull the plug, then at least you now know how to do it the old school way, like I showed you. So there you go. I hope you liked this video. If you did find it useful, just drop a comment below, and yeah, hit me up on Instagram or whatever. And yeah, I'll be trying to film some more videos like this if they've been useful. But that is just an overview on how at least I'm going to be changing my pricing going into winter, so that I'm not losing money and I'm attracting longer term stays to make it completely hands off. But yeah, I think we've gotten that to a T really. So I've done it all here. That is that. Goodbye. Have a good day. Sailor Estates and Camden is out.